Welcome Diablo 4 enthusiasts. In today's video I will share my thoughts about the beta from a hardcore player's perspective, and I have completed everything the beta had to offer on the highest difficulty setting in hardcore, including killing the butcher and slaying the world boss. We will rank the beta in 5 categories: user interface, fight mechanics, itemization depth, hardcore difficulty, and a very subjective one, fun. So let's take a look at the user interface. As it does provide all the information you need, the item display is not optimized and takes up way too much space on your screen without giving you the option to resize it with your mouse. You always have to watch your craft materials before you go deeper into your advanced stats, which sucks. Also, live stat tracking during fights is therefore a pain in the ass with the stationary inventory. Then another thing I really disliked was the location of the NPCs in town. Holy shit, they are placed so inefficient. You waste so much time for tasks in city that provide no player enjoyment because you have to walk from one to the other for such a long time. Just look at those distances on the map, jeez. So overall, I would give the user interface a 2 out of 5. But the issues can be fixed really easy with no effort, so I'm positive about improvements until release. Next up, fight mechanics. They are fucking sharp on the point. If you move, you move. If you attack, you attack. If you teleport, you teleport. Amazing what they have done here. It feels so fluid and natural. But there's one thing they have messed up big time, and this is with the evades. Because those have a massive delay from the time you press the button to the actual execution and then registered moment when your character is on the new location. This results in being hit by abilities and CCs that you should have actually been dodging based on your personal reaction time. I hope we are seeing a fix for this until release, as I assume this could get many hardcore players extremely tilted. We also got to talk about the dungeon maps and the value. The maps are not designed to give a straightforward direction. You constantly have to backtrack from one end of the dungeon to another, and in an ARPG there should never be big periods of time where you don't encounter any challenges and just boringly walk along a place where you've already been before with no monsters to slay. And another thing I want to mention about the dungeon is the fact that some of these are just simply not worth it to farm, as they provide less gold and loot per hour than others, and having 100 plus dungeons in late game means basically nothing if they're not balanced out and you farm only one dungeon over and over cause it's the best gain. So if we sum all of this up, I would give it a really solid 4.5 out of 5 for the fight mechanics, and the dungeon balancing, I think that's an easy fix here as well. Now to our third category, itemization depth. We have talked about this topic already a lot live on stream, and we have also already made an in-depth legendary crafting guide. If you haven't seen this one yet, go check it out. It has 8 useful tips so you don't waste your money during crafting, and one extra tip I am 99% sure you didn't know about yet. Overall, I really enjoy the freedom of being allowed to remove legendary aspects, save them up for later for the right item. This has a nice side effect of giving value to early game items, which on Diablo 3, for example, later on were totally worthless. Now you can carry them on in higher levels, because the effects don't deflate. Also, the value of rare items increases substantially, because you can upgrade them into legendaries. The downside here is the drop rate of rares is really high and your inventory is really small, so it takes a lot of time to always check for something worthy. The game could definitely use the filter option here. The skill tree looked really nice with lots of options, but also so few skill points that you're actually forced to make meaningful decisions and not get everything for free. Really like this one as a theory crafter. What I don't like about it is the fact it costs money to respec, and that you can't save your skill settings anywhere, so it takes a decent amount of time switching from one build to another, and you don't want to have different builds ready, as you may need different builds for farming and different builds for world bosses, so you should be able to switch fairly fast. In this category, it's extremely important to mention that we are so low level and we haven't even seen more than 25% of what's released regarding itemization, especially with the Paragon boards and the glyphs. I think we can expect great depth and unique playstyle, but not as crazily complex as in Path of Exile, so it should be fairly casual friendly, so I would rate it overall with a 5 out of 5. Next up is the hardcore difficulty rating. I can only speak for myself here, so I will give you a little recap. I'm pretty new to the Diablo series. I never played Diablo 1 or 2. I started with Diablo 3, and the only thing that got me interested in the game in the first place was the fact that they announced they released the game 2 times more difficult than the highest difficulty a Blizzard game tester was able to complete the game. And if this wouldn't be sick enough, they feature hardcore with permanent deaths. So this challenge made me want to play this game and complete it, and I ended up completing it without ever testing anything in softcore, and this was so far the best gaming experience I had in my life, and I'm hoping to be able to revive this feeling here. And so far, during the beta, Lag was the hardest enemy, and not any of the monsters presented. I only died once to an enemy that wasn't even on my screen, and I got one-shotted by what it looked like a fire skill. Even the game wasn't able to figure out which mob it was. So with that being said, I would rate it a 2 out of 5 and really hoping to have a 5 out of 5 difficulty experience once it's released. We are Paragon 100 and trying to clear all dungeon on highest difficulty setting with all nightmare sigils supplied. And now the last category, fun, which I can only rate for myself, and we can make it short here. I had a blast. Even locking queues or lag couldn't reduce my enjoyment playing a new game we haven't played before on hardcore with my friends, knowing every wrong move could be our last one, so here definitely a 5 out of 5. If we sum up all the ratings, I would describe my general beta experience with the 2 weekends. I will definitely never regret spending in front of the computer. We are ending this on a 3.7 out of 5 with the potential to go for a 6 out of 5 on release, especially if Rob Ferguson watches my new video series where I'm solving problems the beta brought up. Thank you very much for watching this video all the way to the end. If any questions still rush through your mind, feel free to comment below the video. For more in-depth questions and to stay up to date on the most OP builds, I recommend joining my Diablo 4 Discord community. If you want to support the content creation process, feel free to purchase a channel membership